Oh, good afternoon, conference. Hello. It is an immense privilege and honour to be here today presenting our new health policy in a year that has seen our party change the political landscape in this country forever. Since its founding in 1948, the NHS has often been hailed as a victory for working people. Quality healthcare, free at the point of delivery, funded by the taxpayer. Now, over 60 years on, the NHS has become a political football, and it's often at the heart of political debate. Now, once it was purely about doing the best it could to provide for the health needs of the nation, and now it's been turned into a barometer of a government's competence. Dysfunctional targets are imposed and dropped depending on what is best for the image of the government of the day, not what is best for improving patient outcomes. Care and compassion must be at the heart of the NHS, ladies and gentlemen, something that the numerous bureaucrats that now outnumber clinicians and nurses seem to have forgotten. Under the last Labour government, ladies and gentlemen, NHS management increased by 58%, whilst England had the lowest number of practising doctors per person of all developed countries. That is a disgrace. Frontline workers are demoralised. They see senior managers' pay increase whilst theirs remains virtually stagnant. They see the growing needs of patients and their families ignored, while simultaneously observing the incredible waste of time and money evident in the upper echelons of the NHS. Great swathes of time are spent on administration, time which should be spent with patients. Now, in the wake of appalling scandals at several NHS trusts, UKIP would propose a licence to manage, a GMC for NHS managers. Clinicians are subject to strict discipline from the GMC for doctors and the NMC for nurses. NHS managers should have the same regulation. A licence to manage should be a statutory requirement. Removal of the licence would prevent incompetent, negligent or bullying managers being conveniently moved sideways. Sir David Nicholson, dubbed the man with no shame, who oversaw the regional health authority responsible for the appalling treatment of patients in Stafford, was promoted to Chief Executive of NHS England. Now, he retired this year with a pension worth £110,000 per annum. Chief Executive Martin Yates walked away with a payoff of just under £500,000, and not one board member was disciplined. In fact, many, ladies and gentlemen, many other members went on to very well-paid jobs within the NHS. UKIP say this is wrong. It's immoral. And under our proposed licensing scheme, people like Nicholson and Yates would be able to find any other job in the NHS. UKIP will reinstate the state-enrolled nurse. This will utilise the current pool of auxiliary staff, allowing them to work and train on the wards whilst gaining this accreditation. And I believe this will negate the too posh to wash attitude of some graduates highlighted in various NHS scandals up and down this country. matrons, from now on defined as nurse managers, with long-term medical backgrounds and training, will be given back the powers they have lost under successive Labour and Conservative governments. Nurse managers will be responsible for ward cleanliness, nurse training and the efficient operations of their wards. Monitor and the Care Quality Commission will be abolished. They will be replaced by county health boards. Now, these boards will inspect health services and also take evidence from whistleblowers. But the members of the boards will be locally elected health professionals, not politicians. These boards will bring local democratic control to all major health decisions directly affecting our communities. Now, Britain, ladies and gentlemen, has long been a destination for those who wish to work and prosper. We've been a haven for those in need or in danger, and this we should be proud of, and this we should continue. However, the Westminster elite seem to have forgotten one thing. This is the National Health Service, not the International Health Service. The government estimate is £2 billion every year is lost through health tourism. Now, British workers and tourists routinely purchase medical insurance. We all do. So why should we not expect the same of visitors and migrant workers to our shores? UKIP will ensure all migrant workers and visitors to have approved NHS medical insurance as a condition of entry to Britain. Now, our health service makes us the envy of the world. We must ensure, however, that the system is fair to those who contribute to it, the British taxpayer. Visitors and migrant workers must meet a minimum health insurance requirement. It works in America, it works in Australia, it works in Canada and plenty of other European Union countries. It's now got to work in Britain too. This scheme would be monitored through the visa application process, thereby negating the need to inflict further bureaucracy upon our already burgeoned primary care providers. So that when visitors, students or migrant workers apply for a visa, they must also apply or demonstrate the existence of health insurance. Details of healthcare providers can be easily displayed alongside visa information. And in accordance with the Australian healthcare model, a minimum health standard should also be met by all visa applicants. Now, as a councillor, as a local councillor, one of the subjects that people write to me most about is hospital car parking charges. Their very existence and the fact that people are arbitrarily fined when they are at their most vulnerable makes patients, family and friends understandably furious at this appalling lack of compassion and consideration. So UKIP will commit to spending £200 million at the £2 billion saved through this proposal to end hospital car parking charges in England. Misinformation propagated by the Labour Party about UKIP and our views on health. They have distributed literature, claiming that we would charge people to see their GP. They claim that we would privatise the NHS by bringing in private companies to deliver services. Well, excuse me, Mr Miliband. Was it not the Labour government who supported and continue to support the private finance initiatives? By the time they have run their course, they will have given £300 billion of NHS money to private businesses. The Treasury estimate that repayments will balloon until they reach £10.1 billion a year by 2017. Now, this astronomical figure could have been used to transform the NHS. It could. But instead, these agreements have only been beneficial to the private shareholders and hedge fund managers who invested. The Labour Party privatised the NHS under our very noses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it saddens me to inform you that senior party members have publicly stated that people should be charged £200 to see their GP. I am, of course, talking about senior Labour Party members. £120 per annum has also been suggested by Labour Party members as an NHS membership fee. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, not on my watch. And the Labour Lords, Winston and Warner, who made these suggestions, only further highlight the disconnect between Labour and working people. Now, the work of the NHS is carried out by dedicated doctors, nurses, hospital staff. And I think it's an insult for the grey-suited men of the Labour Party to claim that somehow, it's them who keep it all ticking over. Because the truth is, the NHS works in spite of Labour, not because of it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why UKIP will ensure that the NHS remains free at the point of delivery and of need, a two-tier national health system where those with money can opt to pay for enhanced services will never be acceptable. We all understand that, and we have to accept that things must change. With an ever-ageing population, new and innovative ways have to be sought in order to maintain standards and delivery of care. However, it's not the paramedics, the healthcare workers, the nurses or the doctors that we need to look to. It is the plethora of managers that exist within the NHS. Incompetent managers who shrug off responsibility to other committees and regulatory bodies. Control via committee is inefficient. NHS managers have to take personal responsibility for their own decisions. They must be judged on their successes and failures, not by their ability to avoid blame. Now, the plight of Aisha King, the little boy whose parents had to flee the country in order to get him proton therapy, the therapy required to treat his brain tumour, was truly shocking. It was shocking on many levels, but not least because a child was having to go to another country in order to obtain life-saving medical treatment. Now, NHS managers must get their priorities right. We could treat all those children like Aisha for less than 1/10 of what we spend on gastric bands and breast enhancement operations each year. No children dying, no families desperately attempting to raise funds before time runs out. No question as to who is the priority. Now, last week I received a letter, and this is it. And this letter was from Len McCluskey, General Secretary of UKIP. Now, well, hold on one second though. Now, in this letter, he spells out the worries and concerns the union and its members have over TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. TTIP is a European Union and US trade deal being negotiated as we speak. Now, the inclusion of medical, health and dental provision within this agreement is a serious threat. TTIP is there for the benefit of one thing only: big business, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a message for Len McCluskey and UKIP. UKIP will fight alongside you to ensure the NHS is excluded from this agreement. The NHS is about our welfare. It cares and it protects the people of this country, and it should not be an article in a trade agreement between the European Union and the United States of America. So I will now say thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fight on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fight for the young, for the old, for the healthy, for the infirm. We have a fight. The Labour Party will continue to lie to their grassroots support. With this policy, you can fight back. You can show voters that we are the party who will acknowledge the problems. We will fight the bureaucracy. We will end the culture of never putting in whilst taking out, and we are the only party who will put the people of this country first. Thank you, conference.